House Varun, a mysterious faction guided by devotion to the Great Serpent, has remained hidden for over a century. But with Starfield's Shattered Space DLC, we finally dive into their secretive history. Today, we explore how a single event transformed a group of space colonists into a powerful force shrouded in mystery, devotion, and conflict. This is the history of House Varun. In 2190, the Archimedes, a massive colony ship, departs from Mars orbit. Bound for a deep space mission, its destination is the uncharted regions of the galaxy. However, not long into their journey, all contact with the ship is lost. The settlers on board, it seems, are gone forever. But a year later, in 2191, the Archimedes reappears in the previously uncharted Kavnik system. The colony's arrival is led by a man named Gian Varun, who claims something remarkable happened during their final grav jump. According to Gian, he encountered a cosmic entity, the Great Serpent. This vision, or perhaps revelation, begins to captivate the colonists, and Gian slowly gains a devoted following. By 2193, colonization of the moon Kavnik 1b is well underway. But Gian isn't just one of the colonists anymore. He's now their leader. The intended colonial council is swept aside as Gian Varun takes charge, guided by his belief in the Great Serpent. The capital city is named Dazra, and in gratitude to Gian, the people rename their moon Varun Kai. Jian's leadership leads to a significant restructuring of society. By 2197, the Colonial Council officially disbands, giving Jian absolute control. He reorganizes the colony into noble houses, creating a rigid hierarchy under his rule. Families like Malin and Kadik rise to prominence, but all bow to Gian and the Great Serpent. By the year 2200, any separation between religion and government is gone. Under Jian's rule, House Varun becomes a theocracy. All citizens now serve the Great Serpent, and Jian's word is law. Yet despite the thriving devotion, challenges arise. By 2207, the colony is facing resource shortages, and tensions simmer as members of House Varun express concerns over dwindling supplies. But Gian has a plan. He orders a series of grav drive experiments, believing they may help the house communicate with the Great Serpent on a deeper level. Then, in 2230, 40 years after the Archimedes first vanished from the settled systems, a ship suddenly appears in the Voli system. It's transmitting the Archimedes transponder code, but it introduced itself as the Morning, the flagship of a new power, House Varun. Diplomatic relationships are quickly established with major factions and corporations across the settled systems, but beneath the surface, House Varun is quietly gathering information, arming themselves, and expanding their fleet. After a decade of peaceful diplomacy, everything changes in 2240. Without warning, House Varun cuts off all communication with the settled systems. What follows is one of the bloodiest periods in history, the Serpent's Crusade. House Faroon's fleets sweep across the galaxy, spreading war and destruction, all in the name of the Great Serpent. But in 2263, the Crusade comes to an abrupt halt with the death of Gian Varun. His son, Jarek Varun, ascends to power and ends the conflict, pulling House Varun back into isolation. But even in isolation, House Varun is not free from conflict. Jarek's twin brother, Jander, opposes his role, and the house's withdrawal from the settled systems. Tensions boil over in 2270, when House Malene openly challenges Jarek's leadership. In 2274, the schism is complete. House Malene officially breaks away from House Varun, forming the Varun Zealots, a fanatical group that begins to terrorize the settled systems, pushing their own interpretation of the Great Serpent's will. By 2198, House Varun enters a new phase of leadership with the death of Jarek and the rise of his son Anasko Varun as speaker for the Great Serpent. Anasko wastes no time initiating a secretive research program centered around grav drive technology. The methods are whispered to be unorthodox, even by Varun standards. Then, in 2330, a House Varun star station known as the Oracle suddenly appears in the settled systems, broadcasting a distress signal. What happened to House Varun, and why now? House Varun's story is one of faith, war, and isolation, but with the appearance of the Oracle, it's clear their story is far from over. What new threats or revelations lie ahead? Stay tuned as we explore more of Starfield's universe. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button for notifications of all things Starfield.